Sam Logue here for Global Boxing. Absolutely delighted, as always, to be joined by a friend of the channel, the man from Dublin City, Pierce O'Leary. Big bang. What's the story, Pierce? How you doing, man?
All good, not bad. Yourself?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Good to see you again. It seems like we time goes by so quickly, and then I'm like, oh shit, Pierce is fighting. I better get in touch with him. We were saying like 5 months since we've caught up, and a lot has happened for you in those 5 months, and of course, yeah, I mean, just the pandemic has continued, but you have continued to train and to stay in shape. Obviously, fight coming up this weekend, Friday night against IRVIN MAGNO. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce his name, but 5-3-1. How's the camp gone for this fight? And just talk me through like how long you've been in camp, and obviously you've been over in London with Alan.
Yeah, it's gone. It went unreal. Touch wood, no injuries yet, but I had no injuries for the camp. Went unreal, like literally. Probably the best camp I ever had, in fairness. Been in camp since, I think it was the second, mid-November. I've been in camp since. So it's been a long time, 3 months or so, but fights being scheduled, fight being cancelled and getting rescheduled and stuff like that again, then I never took the foot off the gas because I knew MPK will get me rescheduled straight away, which they done, and they delivered it 3 times. So I stayed in shape, got it done, and here I am now, isolating my room.
Brilliant, man. How has that affected you? Obviously, the fight has been rescheduled a couple of times. How has that kind of affected your training? Now, you're quite tunnel vision, so I feel like maybe not so much, but has it affected you?
To be honest with you, no, it didn't. It didn't affect me at all. Even if it was cancelled, it was still a block barrier of training I got in at one point. So I look at that as we're embracing adversity rather than sulk about it. So I look back at the challenge and see what it taught me and what it's bring me through, and look back and said, look, I'm after getting this far and I'm at this time, and I'm happy. So hopefully the fight news gets announced soon, so I'm back in camp again. Obviously, when I went back home, I was trying twice a day still, like, and then obviously MTK got me back out, rescheduled within 3-4 days. So I hadn't got much time off anyways. Yeah. I was back to London again.
Brilliant. Yeah, so I mean, one of the things that always stands out to me is like you're kind of you're such a consummate professional. Like you kind of see everything as take the positive spin on everything, and you know, even if you do get a little setback, you don't let that kind of get you down or deter you from your training. You always stay focused and stay on top of things. That's a like unique characteristic.
Even with the fight, like being in Dubai and getting cancelled in Wakefield, and obviously getting brought to Dubai.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, lovely, Dubai, great. As soon as that got cancelled, like I know the fact most people like they be regret and they be really disappointed because they wouldn't be going to Dubai. Basically, for me, when I was going to Dubai, to do one thing, and that was to get the win. I had a job to be doing there. It wasn't a holiday. It was nothing like that. So when I got changed to where I am now in Bolton, it makes no difference.
Yeah, it's a fight for you. It doesn't matter about the location. It only matters about getting the win.
Exactly.
That's exactly the attitude you need to have, man. A lot of more experienced guys could probably take a fucking leaf out of your book, to be honest. An interesting thing has happened in your life since we last spoke. You've had a baby girl. Congratulations, man. Happy for you. We obviously spoke a little bit off camera, and you're fairly buzzing with it. I'm interested in how that maybe has changed, if it has changed your perspective or your attitude towards life, even, or towards your career, and how you go about things. Has it had an effect?
I would say no, I'll be lying. So yeah, it did. I had a not an effect, but it gave me a bonus.
Yeah.
It gave me more of a drive now, knowing that there's a life dependent on me. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So if I don't do my job and I don't win the fight, then I don't bring the food back home to the table.
Yeah, I get you.
Do you know what I mean? So that's just, obviously you get people saying, oh, blah, 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 but that's the mentality I have about it, and I want to be going home healthy. So it is, I changed my style up of it changed my style up a little bit because I knew it's not all about going out and banging the head off each other, where you can take less punishment. Do you know what I mean? I'd rather take less punishment now going through me starting out my career, and I'd hit me prime a lot quicker. I'd probably be out of the game and all then, God knows. So
Yeah,
I'm really happy, yeah.
that's interesting that it's that it's changed maybe your attitude towards how you want to fight and like your attitude towards taking punishment and stuff. That's really interesting because obviously you want to have a relationship with your child. You don't want to be fucking
That's it.
bedridden or in a, yeah, like
exactly. Yeah, you know what I mean?
my God, yeah,
Just,
it's interesting.
that's what you have to. That's where I looked at, and that's what. But obviously with Al and Eddie and stuff like that, like they're like that's their style anyway. So it just prolonged me. Like, so what they told me, as I said, just like a sponge, absorbed it all up, and now anytime I get inspired and into the fight now, I'll just rinse it all off in the ring.
That's deadly, man. So that actually allows me to segue quite well into the next question. I wanted to talk about your style and how you're fighting and what parts of your game you're working on, and if there is a part of your game that you have been working on specifically that you're looking to showcase or something like this. But that kind of feeds well into that idea of you're saying you've kind of changed your style a bit with Alan Smith, and it seems to be a lot about good upper half movement and not really getting hit, being able to stay close and reasonably within range, but not take punishment and get your shots off, kind of maybe a little bit counter punching style. So can you speak to that for me? Like, is there anything you've really been is that what you've been working on? And do you feel like you've really improved in that?
Do you know what? It wasn't something that I would have massively improved on, in fairness. I always had it, yeah. But I never used it. I've always been a counter puncher and stuff like that, but a lot of people know me from just aggressive, and that's what I thought I was in the pro. And as a lot of people now know me from the professional, that's all they know is from me going forward, rather than looking back a couple of years ago where I used to be a counter puncher as well.
Yeah.
And I get more success off that. So it's really just bringing it back up again. Do you know what I mean? Refreshing it.
Yeah, I guess.
Keep momentum going off doing that, inspired and stuff like that. And then bringing it into the fight, but I'm inspired, and yeah, it is a little bit of a new style because it's a nice style, and I don't know how to explain it. I just found my style, and that's what it is, isn't it?
Yeah, but you feel good. You feel good with this style going forward now. That kind of, I don't know. I think I articulated it reasonably well. What you're trying to do, like I suppose, and I heard also Alan Smith say reference Canelo a little bit in how you're trying to fight that kind of close range, but slipping and grazing the shots.
So you look at Canelo's early fights as well. He was a counter puncher as well.
Mm-hmm.
Still is a counter puncher, really.
Yeah.
And when he knows when he hurts his opponent, and then he push forward. That's just exactly what I do.
Yeah.
So you can relate to Canelo. Yeah, I'll take that.
Not a bad little comparison, that one, is it? The Irish Canelo, we'll be calling you soon enough. But yeah, that interests me, that kind of like, that element of improving technical aspects, and if there is an aspect of your game that you're working on. But obviously that's the kind of stuff you've been working on with Alan Smith. How has that relationship grown over the last, I mean, you're there, over a year now? Jesus, I'm sorry, man, my perception of time is all over the place since this pandemic started.
No, I'm actually,
how long have you been there?
I went over there 1st of March. That's right, 1st of March I went over. The day after my birthday.
Yeah.
Went over, and yeah, it was unreal. And from then to now, how far the whole team was at the ground together. It's unreal, mate. Literally unreal.
Yeah.
Coaches going out sparring. It's great. It's a massive eye opener. That's all I can say.
Okay. And is that like an eye opener in terms of kind of technique and technical aspects of boxing skill that you maybe wouldn't have seen before?
Going to different gyms. Just hearing, all you hear is boxing. People talk about boxing.
Yeah.
So you learn the business side of boxing as well also. Then you learn just so much learning. It was a no-brainer.
Yeah.
I'm not so much since I'm here.
That's class, man. I think the thing that really I suppose resonates, or not resonates, but the thing I really see when you're talking, the thing that comes through to me is that like you're happy. You know what I mean? You're kind of, you can
Yeah,
feel it
yeah,
coming off you. You know what I mean?
yeah.
You made a decision and it's really paid off, and you feel so happy and content, and like you've made the right decision to be there. And that obviously,
Definitely,
that only
definitely,
really
without a
can
doubt.
go ahead,
Like
man.
even like when I made the decision of going, like it was probably the best thing I ever done. Do you know,
Yeah,
even going professional was the best thing I ever done. I don't know. I just, as you said, you just gotta trust your instinct, isn't it? And just trust it and go with it. Go with the little voice and what's telling you inside.
yeah,
And that's what I've done. I've done that.
and it's
And I'm
paid
really
off
happy
so
about it.
far.
Paying off so far.
That's it, man. So let's touch. Well, yeah. Well, I mean, look, you were up sparring Josh Kelly. I really wanted to talk to you about this. You're up in Adam Booth's gym. Alan said that he obviously brought you up. He has a good relationship with Adam Booth, widely
Yep.
regarded as probably one of the best trainers in the world, actually. So Josh Kelly, also one of the best, probably fair to say, one of the best welterweights in the world now. You know, he was a prospect up to recently, but you know, he's fighting for the European welterweight title this week against a former world champion in David Avanesian. Talk us through that sparring. When I saw that, I was like, Jesus, that's invaluable. How was that?
Yeah, well, yeah, I was saying we bring it out. It was a bit hard to get a bit of spars because we was in last camp. I was only new, obviously, and he didn't want to bring me outside, so he wanted me to settle in and get the, like, not to get to know, but to gel with all the other guys in the gym. And we were sparred, and they were good spars as well, really good spars. And till this day, they still are, like. But he wanted to change it up. He wanted me to go and grow a little bit more and go out and spar others, you know? Because if we're sparring a guy in the gym, we know what he's going to bring constantly to the table.
Yeah, exactly.
So now, when we go out there, my mind's thinking constantly for the 6 rounds. And it's intense 6 rounds. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You feel the difference between that gym and you feel the difference of sparring outside your gym and in your gym. Because when you're in your gym, it's more so you're in autopilot. You're just, you know, you're going through the motions and you know what to do. When you're outside, you can't switch off. If you switch off, you're going to get caught.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
especially when you're fighting someone the caliber of Josh Kelly, eh?
As soon as I went out, as soon as I got brought to Adam's gym and sparred Josh, it was unreal. Even going into the gym as an eye opener, like I was just like blown away. I felt mad a bit because I never got to experience that before, you know.
Yeah.
So got changed, come back. Obviously, you were slagging me on my glass and stuff like that. Clark Kent, but
Clark Kent.
as soon as I took my glasses off, then and after the sparring, obviously they saw me. Then that's, you know, so
yeah,
it was unreal. It was unreal experience, best experience ever. Like, just goes to show how much. I even Josh come over and said a few words to me as well, and couldn't have thanked him enough for it, you know.
Yeah, that's unbelievable, man. I want to obviously get into what you think about his fight coming up, but I'm going to try and milk you for as much information here as I can about this spar, because I think it's a huge name to be in with, like, and he's obviously a massive rising name in world boxing. How did you get on in the spar? You know, without, obviously, I know you won't want to give out too many details, but you know, how did you feel you got on with someone of, obviously Josh, a very high level fighter? How did you get on there? Did you have success, and did you learn a lot from it?
I learned a lot from it, and I had a lot of success as well. It was I gave Josh really good spar. That's what I mean. Like, he came out to me, he said he couldn't believe I was only 20 years of age. He said, I can't believe you're only 20. He says, you're like a grown man in there, how you hold yourself and how you perform. He's like, you're like an all-season pro. And I couldn't really, like, something to tell you that, like, outside, who you're not really, you know, like, no one really tells you anything like that back home in Ireland.
Okay.
But like, obviously not at that high level, like, if you get me. But
yeah,
when I was sparring, after he came over, he said, unreal. He said, can't believe you're only 20. He said, fuck. He said, you're gonna make it. You'll make it without a doubt. He said, once you keep working hard and keep focused. He said, I don't see why not.
Unreal.
He said, you'll be out of the game and all before you even know it. And I was like, Oh yeah, cool, sweet. So
How do you react
well,
to that? Like,
he's just like Josh is. I met him the 3 times I was there, and how he made me feel and stuff like that. Even Mike Conlon was there. Mike Conlon, I always grow up Michael. Anyways, Michael, it's cool. He's a legend.
yeah,
But he always took me side. He did a little bit, Michael.
yeah,
But like it was great buzz, unreal buzz it was. So I got out of spar. It kind of gave me that little bit more of a boost now to know where I stand with a guy like that.
yeah.
Who's fighting for the European title. Get through this fight, hopefully, please God, which you will. Then he's on the world level, like he's on the world title. Like, so if I'm holding myself well in there at the age of 20, imagine where I'm going to be 3 years down the line.
Exactly, 100%,
Just
man.
like with camps back to back to back. Like, it's scary to know how far I can go. So that's all I can keep doing. Just keep working hard.
That's it, and keep focusing on the fight in front of you. You know what I mean, and not, which I feel like you're very good at, like not getting too caught up in what could be in the future. You know, just keep focusing on the next fight, one by one.
Yeah, well,
and,
I just map out all like the baby steps lead you to them big fights. So you don't get the baby. I'm not saying baby fights, but baby steps of fights out of the way.
yeah,
I treat every fight as a world title fight, because if I don't, and it doesn't go right, doesn't go in my favour, but then I'm set back. That's a massive setback for me.
yeah.
So I don't want them. I want to stay focused. So every fight I go into, the mentality is a world title.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Your mindset seems to be like bulletproof. The last thing I'll say on that one is I heard obviously the little MTK kind of video. You know, they did like a little press. I don't even know what you'd even call it. Like, you know, a kind of advertisement for the fights and stuff. And they did like 1.5 minutes little video on you. It was really good, actually. It was really well done. And obviously Alan was talking, and apparently Adam Booth said that you were special, that you had a kind of a grade. You could see, you know, kind of level of fighter that you were. What does that, like, again, just to kind of go back to that, what does that make you feel when someone of that kind of caliber and level is saying things like that about you? Does, you know, do you get ahead of yourself, or what do you think, or what do you feel when you hear that?
Some people get ahead of themselves. Some people they gain a big massive ego from that. But I just back to the gym was with me. Like, I just took it in, and really appreciate it. And didn't really hit me what he said until a couple of days later when he said it on social media.
Yeah.
And because obviously Adam shared some words with me one-to-one, but
yeah,
he
class
shared it as well on social media, and then everyone liked and shared and then followed me. Like, fuck yeah, Jesus. Then it kind of hit me. I was like, whoa. But on that, like, I still go to the gym, constantly keep working hard.
That's it, man. Adam Booth made comments that you're special. You know what I mean? That you have a grade about you. I'm interested to kind of at the aspect of, you know, where does that really come from? Like, is a lot of that down to like your amateur pedigree? And a lot of people don't know that you're obviously a very high level amateur, especially as a youth amateur. Is, you know, obviously it doesn't happen overnight. This kind of you're special, this kind of grade, you know, it doesn't just happen over the space of a few months as a pro. So do you put a lot of that down to your amateur career, to the work and the training that you've done as an amateur?
Definitely, yeah, definitely. Right from the start, I've always committed myself to it. And the amateurs always had that champion mindset of never quitting, never stopping, just constantly keep going. Constantly back in the gym, constantly working hard, looking at videos of all boxers, pro boxers, like, obviously, and just gaining that style, going back to the gym and working on what I'm at the scene, and trying to adapt to it and trying to become it. But I think, I've been very active, not very active, like, I've been really active through my amateur career. And obviously then 18, and then go with, what's it, 18 and under 19 or under 22s then, is it?
Yeah, I think
Under
I think so. I'm
22s.
not too sure now.
Under 22s then. Which I won the under 22s, and then I went to Russia. And after Russia then I went pro. So I was still young, really young. But
You were like 18 when all this happened, right?
yes, I would have been 18, yeah. No, 19, sorry, 19.
19, okay, sorry.
So
okay, that's interesting. Yeah, that's because I think it's something that people tend to forget. You know what I mean? That a lot of this is fostered as a very, very high level amateur, which unfortunately,
to be honest, a lot of it is from just having grit, just constantly just working hard and believing myself. And that's it.
Yeah,
you know,
100%, man. Let's move on to talk a little bit about your opponent. I know that there isn't probably not way too much to talk about, like not too much to talk about really, but IRVIN MAGNO, 5 wins, 3 losses, 1 draw. I watched a little bit of him there earlier on. He looks tidy enough, like, he looks okay. Have you seen much of him at all? No.
Can't even bother looking at it. As I said already, I just let Al and Ed, they do the business, they look at him, and they come up with the game plan, and then they just tell me.
Yeah.
That's just, I don't really like looking at my opponents. Rather just go in and focus on one thing. Because I know for a fact, once I'm in there and I perform to my best, he'll have a long night, and I know for a fact I'll get the job done.
Yeah. So how does that process work? Does Alan watch the fights and kind of tell you, okay, this guy, he does this, he fights like this, we can exploit him in these areas? Or do you very much just focus on you, and he doesn't really tell you that much about the opponent?
Yeah, he basically he look at the opponent and he's like, yeah, fine. And then he'll come up with a little small, not massive. I don't mean him. He's not gonna sit there and write loads about him on the book, you know what I mean? He just he look at him and he's like, yeah, cool, yeah. Once he sees a couple of seconds, perfect. So he just goes in there and tells you what to do, then I just go out and do it. That's it. That's literally, it's that simple. You know
okay.
What I mean?
So prediction, kind of, how do you see it going? Probably more based on how you feel, how sparring's gone, how you feel in yourself. What do you see happening in this fight?
KO.
Yeah, nice. Definitely. Good to hear, man. Definitely. Yeah, you feel it popping. Yeah.
Feel it, you know it.
Yeah.
At the end of me knuckle itchy.
Deadly. I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm excited. I just want to go in and just put a performance on. That's it. If it comes, it comes. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I'm not gonna go out and look for it. I just want to get in and get performed, because it's been a long time coming. So I'm happy now.
Definitely.
You know.
So all going well. KO on Friday night, 6-0. I've asked you things like this before, but I'm going to phrase this question slightly differently. What kind of, like, what are your immediate targets as such? Like, how do you want to progress now? So I'm not saying what names are you looking at, because I know you don't target names as such right now, but are you kind of thinking, say, for example, no more journeymen? I don't want, guys with losing records anymore, etc. So, like, do you get where I'm going with this? So what kind of way do you want to push forward now?
This kid isn't a journeyman. This kid is.
This guy's not. Sorry, I should say.
This kid is 5 wins, and I heard this right here. His last 2 fights where he lost, he got robbed.
Okay, so I would personally have known
that. This is a 50-50 fight.
50-50.
This is a 50-50 fight.
Okay, fair enough. No, I wasn't actually trying to insinuate that this guy is like a journeyman or whatever. This guy is coming to win, which you actually have said as well already.
Yes.
Which we know. But obviously, your first 4 were against journeymen. Fair to say. The 5th one was against a guy with 4-0, decent record, good win. And I feel like this is again another step up. This guy has experience. He has wins. He has a few losses. Obviously, you said there a few contentious losses, but it's more to do with after this fight. I'm not commenting on him as a journeyman, but going forward, what's the feeling?
I'll probably step up the rounds a little bit.
Step up the rounds, okay. Looking to go 8 rounders?
Yeah. Probably an 8 rounder, yeah. We'll see which way. Probably don't want to get. We'll see. Probably one more 6 and then an 8, or probably just an 8. I don't know yet.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay. And in terms of the opponents, you looking
um,
to try and step up the levels again?
yeah, of course, yeah, that's the plan.
And
Obviously,
titles? Is there any titles in mind?
no, there's a few trials, but not at the minute. We're going on a good pace now at the minute.
Okay.
So come across titles, we'll come across them. But for now, like for this year, what we lost out last year, just want to progress and then we'll start getting up there and start calling people out then at some stage.
Perfect, man. Absolutely. Look, man, that's class. Thanks very much for your time. Always good to catch up with you. Best luck for the fight.
Brilliant.
It's a bit of a step up, so it's going to be interesting to see how it pans out. But we're confident of a Pierce O'Leary victory, 100%.
Yeah.
And look, Sam Logue here for Green Blood Boxing with Pierce O'Leary. Pierce, best of luck again, as I say, man. And thanks for your time.
Thanks very much, Roy Sam. Really appreciate it, pal.
Appreciate it, Bob. Talk to you later.